Tales from Philippine History. Embark on a captivating journey through the stories that have not only shaped the Philippines, but have also left an indelible mark on its identity. Islam and Christian Conflicts. Part 2. Origins of the Moro Resistance. The term Moro was used by the Spanish to refer to the Muslim inhabitants of the southern Philippines. The Moro resistance can be traced back to the early interactions between the Spanish colonizers and the Muslim communities in Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. The Moro people fiercely defended their territories and Islamic faith against foreign influence. Variety of Moro groups. The Moro resistance was not monolithic. It encompassed various Moro groups, each with its own leaders and agendas. These groups often had complex relationships with each other, leading to a diverse array of resistance efforts. Islam in the Philippines. Islam was already established in the southern Philippines before the arrival of the Spanish. Muslim traders and missionaries from neighboring regions had introduced Islam to the archipelago centuries earlier. The Moro people practiced Islam and had their own sultanates and political structures. Spanish colonization and conflicts. When the Spanish arrived in the southern Philippines, they sought to extend their rule and spread Christianity. This often resulted in conflicts with the Moro communities, who resisted both Spanish colonial rule and religious conversion. The Moro resistance against the Spanish lasted for centuries, marked by numerous uprisings, Spanish efforts to subdue the Moro. The Spanish faced significant challenges in their attempts to subdue the Moro resistance. The rugged and geographically challenging terrain of the southern Philippines made military campaigns difficult. The Moros' familiarity with the terrain and guerrilla warfare tactics contributed to their ability to resist Spanish forces. Battle of Budd-Dejo, 1906. The Battle of Budd-Dejo occurred during the American colonial period, not the Spanish. It took place on the island of Jolo in 1906, when American forces, under orders from General Leonard Wood, attacked the heavily fortified volcanic crater known as Budd-Dejo, where several hundred Moro villagers had sought refuge. The Moros, led by Datu Amil, fiercely defended their position. The battle resulted in a high number of casualties, including Moro men, women, and children. Battle of Budd-Bagsak, 1913. The Battle of Budd-Bagsak occurred in 1913 on the same island of Jolo. It was another conflict between American forces and Moro fighters. The Moros, led by Datu Ali, resisted American authority and sought to maintain their autonomy. The battle resulted in a significant loss of life on both sides. Factors behind Moro resistance. The Moro resistance was influenced by a combination of factors, including religious beliefs, cultural identity, and the desire for autonomy. The Moro people were determined to protect their Islamic faith, traditions, and the sovereignty of their sultanates from foreign interference. Economic factors. Economic factors also played a role in the Moro resistance. The Spanish sought to control trade routes and resources in the southern Philippines, leading to tensions with the Moro sultanates, which had established trading relationships with neighboring regions. Legacy of the Moro resistance. The Moro resistance, while marked by conflicts and battles, also symbolizes the resilience and determination of the Moro people to preserve their way of life and faith. It contributed to the formation of a distinct Moro identity and a long history of struggle for self-determination. Slave raids and resistance. The Moro resistance was fueled in part by the Spanish practice of conducting slave raids along the coasts of Mindanao and Sulu. These raids led to the capture and enslavement of Moro villagers and contributed to the hostility between the Moro people and the Spanish. Weapons and fortifications. The Moro fighters were skilled in the use of traditional weapons such as kris swords, spears, and barongs. They also constructed well-fortified strongholds, including hilltop forts, to defend their communities from colonial incursions. American colonial period. After the Spanish-American War, the Philippines came under American colonial rule. The Moro resistance continued during this period, as the Moro people opposed American attempts to assert control over their territories. Integration into the Philippines. Over time, the Moro territories were integrated into the Philippine nation-state. This integration was marked by complex negotiations, autonomy agreements, and the formation of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM, in the late 20th century. Modern peace efforts. In more recent history, efforts have been made to address the historical grievances and conflicts in the southern Philippines. Negotiations and peace agreements with various Moro groups, such as the Moro National Liberation Front, MNLF, and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, have aimed to bring about lasting peace and greater autonomy for the region. Contemporary Moro struggles. While peace agreements have been reached with some Moro groups, challenges related to autonomy, governance, and the protection of cultural rights continue to be significant issues in contemporary southern Philippines. The establishment of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, BRMM, in 2019 is a significant development in addressing these concerns. Cultural legacy. Despite the conflicts, the Moro people have a rich cultural heritage, including traditional arts, music, and dance. The Maranao, Tausug, Maguindanao, and other Moro groups have distinct cultural practices that have been preserved and celebrated. Ongoing peace processes. The pursuit of lasting peace in the southern Philippines continues through negotiations and peace agreements with various Moro groups. These efforts aim to address the historical grievances and aspirations of the Moro people.